What's up, friends and professionals? Back with another Modern Lending Lab live. Guy, it's fun to get into the rhythm of these again, man. I just it's been a while, and so thanks for those of you that hang out, give me feedback, and um, man, first reminder, 21st coming at you. Modern Lending Lab opens for the second time. We're talking about referral relationships, realtors, how to grow your business. Man, it's gonna be a fun time. If you want in, free invite, open ended, open Zoom. Hit me up with a direct message. I'll send you the link. But today, we're going to talk about the power of a public declaration. You know, we talk a lot in this Modern Lending Lab lives on how to grow your business, how to leverage social media, how to build campaigns, how to get out there and grow your digital community, all the things that you need to do to drive your business forward. That's what the lab's for. It's a place to come together, get collaborative, explore new opportunities together, and like go into action. Anytime I talk about going into action, though, I'm remiss if I don't talk about the secret to achieving anything in life. Now, maybe this won't work for you. I'm going to put a disclaimer into the Wix. Maybe this won't work for you, but man, it sure as heck works for me. I told you in the comments that I was going to share 3 major times that I declared something and then publicly, a goal or initiative, and then use that as rocket fuel to drive results. There's something insanely powerful, terrifying, and something that will hold you accountable. There's nothing like it than a public declaration. When you go out into the world today and use the megaphone of social media and declare that you're going to do something, it's scary. It's terrifying. But we're in the business of embracing things that are terrifying. If you don't figure out how to get uncomfortable and maintain a level of comfort in that space, you'll never achieve the results you're capable of in life. I got something in my eye, but we're live, so we're going to keep going. That's just the fact. You've got to figure out how to become immensely uncomfortable to achieve the things you want to achieve in your life. I'm going to share with you one thing that was started me on the digital journey. And I'm going to put it on the screen here so we can kind of look at this together. I was really good at building belly-to-belly personal relationships, which is funny to say as an insecure, terrified person. But I figured out how to hack my insecurities to drive connection with people. And I made some really great referral partner relationships that built a career for me in mortgage originations that I was insanely proud of. I was a top 1% originator. I did 185 million my best year. I built teams, all stemming from my ability to deal with my insecurities, to go out and meet people, and to start building a professional relationship. And then because I was competent in it, I was able to then become a decent coach. But those are different things. Being good at something and then coaching are different things. But I was able to figure out how to become a decent coach, and I went out and I helped originators do the same thing in their own ways. And I figured out over the years that it wasn't necessarily my strategies that worked for them, but it was theirs. And pieces of mine could become pieces of theirs. And I could watch the whole world happen. So as we looked into the future, 20 years later, 2018 specifically, so man, wow, 7 years ago, 8 years ago almost, getting it. I realized there was this new medium, this space, this internet space, that everything was moving to phones, that we were becoming a digital first society, that referrals still mattered, but we were now building relationships here. And I had no acumen in this space. I had no clue what was happening in this space. There's YouTube and there's all these platforms and social media. I had no clue. But I knew it was self-evident that the world and our customers were going this direction. We had to figure it out as originators to maintain our relevancy. So I decided to do 100 videos in 100 days. I had no clue what I was doing. I just knew that I needed to start making video content. I just knew that I had to start showing up on the internet in some capacity. I had to start showing up on the internet in some capacity. So I said, I'm going to do 100 videos in 100 days. And I opened up a Google Excel drive sheet. Yeah. And I just started putting topics up there. And you can see they're super random. Like you look at this, like getting comfortable on camera, don't be afraid, personal brand audit, importance of technology, the power of declaration, the local mortgage professional, hard work, vulnerability, local presence. And so I just made video content over and over and over again on things that were random, not strategic, not thoughtful, but just repetitions. And you can't see it, but in my screen, to this side of myself and my screen, there's a t-shirt rack. Because what I would do is I would take a t-shirt off my rack and I would film 5 videos on Friday and put them in my bank for next week, because life's crazy and you don't have time to make content every single day. So I learned that batching content was a strategy that could work. And these 100 videos that went out every single day for 100 days started to transform my career. And I would never have done them if I didn't tell the world, I'm going to do a challenge personally of 100 videos in 100 days. And I'm going to show up here on the internet every single day with a video to prove it. That public declaration pushed me, held me accountable. Because I'm going to tell you a weird truth. No one cares. No one cares if I did 100 videos in 100 days. No one watched all 100 videos of mine in 100. No one cares. I wasn't being held publicly accountable. I wasn't getting a text from people being like, "Your video ready to go today, Alec?" Like, I didn't have a coach calling me. All I had was this internal fear, this internal anxiety that I made a commitment. Everyone knows it. I can't fail. There's something so powerful in this public declaration. There's something so powerful of you committing to something, telling the world you're committing to it, that will hold you accountable and will drive your success. The lesson for me in these 100 videos was not that I tripled my business. It wasn't that all of a sudden I became this magnet for salespeople and recruited the country and I owe it all to these 100 videos. But what these 100 videos did for me was push me into a new medium, teach me how to get uncomfortable. I learned new digital tools. I learned ways to edit my own content. I learned how these platforms work. I learned how they don't work. I learned that you need to have a strategy and not just show up. It transformed my mind. And in that process, made me a better person, a better professional, a better coach, a better mentor. And it started opening doors. From these 100 videos, I started putting actual strategy behind my content. I started a podcast. I learned how to do all that. All these things brought me new connections to people on the internet, to people across the industry. So did it make it all of a sudden magical that I was able to triple my business overnight? Absolutely not. But what it did was put me in positions to triple my business overnight. It opened doors to triple my business overnight. People go, "Alec, how did you become a chief marketing officer for Loan Depot?" I go, "Because I put videos on the internet 8 years ago, every day." Now, I'm not as consistent. I don't do it every day. I'm pretty darn good. I'm like 90% there. But this public declaration started a transformative experience in my life. To share a personal note, a lot of people don't know this, but 5 months ago, I had my second hip replacement. So buckle up. You know, I'm a middle-aged man in my early 40s, and I have two fake hips. 5 months ago, I had my second hip replacement. 2 years before that, I had my first hip replacement. I don't have degenerative hip issues. The doctors don't know, but all they could tell me was I have no cartilage left in my hips. 2.5 years ago, I had zero cartilage in my left hip, 10% of cartilage left in my right hip. And 2 years before that, I was in debilitating pain in my left hips. Like, couldn't work out, bone on bone. I'm sorry, a little graphic, but just brutal discomfort all the time. Working out was terrible. Walking was terrible. And I remember the straw. So I gained a ton of weight. I was at 200. My max was 277 pounds. I was miserable. I was uncomfortable. And the doctor just kept, "Hey, just keep pushing off the surgery. Push it off, Alec. Push it off, because you don't have to do the surgery again." And so I just pushed it off, and I self-medicated with that. I made bad decisions, and I just gained a ton of weight over time. And I was finally so sick of it, I called and I booked the surgery. I remember I was hiking in Mammoth with my family and some friends. It was not even a big hike. It was just up some steps, down some steps. And I remember coming down was so painful because we were on loose gravel, and every step I took, my hip socket, because it was loose gravel, I'd step down, and then your foot adjusts in gravel. That's like normal life, and you don't even think about it. But every time I would take a step down and my foot would adjust, the grind would occur, and I was just going, I can't live. Couldn't play sports with my kids. Super overweight. Scheduled the surgery. 6 months after the surgery, lots of physical therapy. I was like, I'm ready to get back in the gym. I got to figure this out. Life's not just like I'm miserable. What do I do? And so I was like, you know what? I know what to do. I did this before. I'm going to make a declaration publicly. I'm going to tell the world that for 100 days in a row, I'm going to work out and sweat. That was my rule. I was going to sweat. Just sweat. I don't care. Just sweat. So I went to the gym 3 days a week. Other days I just walked. I walked on a treadmill at a 15-degree incline for 30 minutes to an hour. I watched a bunch of shows. I was going to eat meat and vegetables. Meat and vegetables. That's it. Some fruits fine. Good fats were fine. Avocados, almonds, that stuff was fine. Meat and vegetables every day for every meal. No sugar. No alcohol. I'm crazy for 100 days. And by the way, birthday parties, holidays, work events, travel, meat and vegetables, sweat every single day, no sugar, no alcohol. And I posted it on the internet every single day. I made a little Canva template. I put it out and I said, I'm going to lose 50 pounds in 100 days. That was my goal. I declared it to the world. And this is what happened. That was me. Unhappy, embarrassed. Costa Rica with my kids. Afraid the zip line is going to break. And that's 100 days later. Now, look, I know it's a flex. I'm literally flexing. I know this is a an egocentric statement to some degree, but you know what? It would never have happened for me personally if I didn't declare to the world this was what I was going to do. And do you think people cared? I mean, yeah, people that care about me care, but you think the world was like, so stoked and following every video and can't wait till Alec puts his video out the next day of what he accomplished that day. And did he actually stick with it? Did he fail? Did he eat the meat and vegetables? Did he not drink the alcohol? Did he not eat the sugar? Did that all happen? No, they didn't really care. But it transformed me because I felt that I couldn't miss a day. No excuses, because I told the world that I was going to do this. I told the world I was going to do this. And so it gave me unbelievable accountability and drive and respect. And Greg makes this amazing comment that your subconscious is listening. And so this declaration publicly leveraged my own insecurities and fear of what people think of me as a superpower to generate the result I want for myself. And I was able to accomplish something very, very difficult. That really isn't that difficult, right? Just eat the same food and go sweat every day. Come on. But it would never have happened without this declaration. The third, so there were two, 100 videos in 100 days, 100 good decisions, food and exercise wise in 100 days. This one isn't 100 days. This was 30 days. This was in the early, 2024. No, sorry, 2004. No, yeah, it had to have been early 2004, 2005, right there. Probably 2005. I think that was 20 years ago. Probably 2005. Young originator. I wanted to be like these people I saw that were funding these huge numbers. And these guys I was around and gals I was around were consistently funding over 10 million a month. And I was like, that's insane. How do you fund 10 million a month, like consistently in and out? I didn't know how to break through. And so I was funding a couple million a month. And so I was proud of myself. I was doing good. But how did I break through from a couple million a month to 10 million a month? And by the way, I should tell the story sometime of how I got from 0 to a couple million a month. That's a fun story. But I was doing okay. I had some realtors that knew me. I was out there marketing myself. And I decided to make a public declaration. Now, we didn't have the internet like we have today back then. So this is a physical piece of paper I'm going to share with you. I took a picture of it. But here's what I did. I was mailing the top 100 realtors in Orange County to try to earn their business every single month. And I've been doing it for like 6-7 months now. Like, this is my first year as originator. I've been mailing them every month, flyers, things that I think would help them, because I didn't have the internet, this like social. So I was doing this, and I couldn't break through. I had a couple partners, but I sent out a mailer called the $10 million challenge. I'm going to put it on the screen. There's the $10 million challenge. And 24-year-old, 23-year-old Alec Hanson. I look at the hair. First of all, let's just take a moment and just appreciate the hair and the Macy's suit. I have declared that for the month of June, I will work to fund $10 million in total volume, in case that was unclear. I can't believe I wrote this. If you know anyone buying a home or looking to refinance, I would love the opportunity to speak with them. Thank you for your help. Now, I didn't just send this amazing document that I made in Microsoft Paint. The skills are unbelievable. There was a letter on top of it. There was a letter on top of it that just said, I'm getting married in July. I'm getting married in July, and I would love a chance to earn your business. This is 20 years ago. It has to be 20 years ago, because my 20th anniversary with my wife is this July. So this is 20 years ago. I sent this out. And I said, I sent it to the top 100 agents. They weren't working with me. They weren't even my friends. I was seeing some of them in open houses. Some of them probably had 6 or 7 letters from me that they may or not have ever seen. And then this showed up in their inbox. I funded $13.5 million in July. I'm sorry, in June, in the month before I got married. So I think I sent it out in May. I sent it out. This is so bizarre. I'm having this weird moment right now. Forgive me, but I'm just realizing that it's like it's May. I sent this out in May 20 years ago, and it's now like this. This is so. I'm sorry. I didn't position this like this. Like, oh, this is a letter I sent out 20 years ago today, and I'm sharing it with you on the day of the Power of Declaration. I'm having a weird out of body moment, because this is just all serendipitously happening. So I sent this letter out 20 years ago this month, and in June, the month before I got married, I funded $13.5 million. The power of a public declaration. I even gave myself an out when I read this, that I will work to fund 10 million. What a wuss. What a wuss I was, that I couldn't even just declare that I will achieve this in June. I will work to, man. But like, I love my 20-something year old self, 23-year-old self too. Realtors called me that have never worked with me and threw me a bone in June. I didn't even get business from them after that. They just threw me a bone, because they saw me in the streets every Saturday and Sunday at open houses. They saw me at their reviews on Thursdays and Fridays. They saw my newsletter come to their email and physical mail every month. They got my thank you cards after I visited their open house. And then I made a public declaration that I'm going to fund $10 million in June. And the universe bent around me. I'm not saying that it always works. I'm not saying this is the key and hack for your life. This is the magic pill that if you just make a declaration, it immediately happens. But I am going to tell you, with all sincerity and confidence, that if you're willing to put something that you want to achieve out into the public world, using the megaphone of social media, and in my case, physical mail, and declaring something that you're going to accomplish, something happens. It just does. Support flies in. Random realtors called and gave me deals. People that I met had a better sense of connection to me, because they felt like they knew what I was doing. In the 100 days of losing weight, some people were cheering me on. When I went to those parties and events and fundraisers, and the booze was flowing and the mac and cheese looked good, People saw me sipping on a Diet Coke, gave me a like, they cheered me on, they rooted for me. They didn't come and try to sabotage me. They tried to help me out. When you put yourself out there and declare something that you want to do, as scary as it is, there's something that happens in the universe to support you. As Greg said again, I want to affirm that comment. Your subconscious tightens up, focuses, and if you repeat it day after day, the world bends. It's pretty damn cool. So, what are you scared about declaring? What's the big terrifying thing that if you said it out loud, it would just be so scary? Is it a business accomplishment, a personal accomplishment? Make that declaration. Tell the world what you're going to do. And watch the universe bend around you to make it happen. Won't be easy. No one said it's going to just magically happen and come to you. I got to tell you, I hustled in that month of June more than I ever have in my career. I called more people because I made this declaration. I was going to fund over $10 million. I had sent the letter to 100 of the best agents in the market. They all knew. And if I didn't do it, they were going to ask me. Maybe they wouldn't even care. But like, I had this fear. What if they ask me, did you do it, Alec? What happened? Did you make it happen? So I called more people in my Rolodex, more past customers, more agents. I asked for more business and more meetings because I'm like, I have to accomplish this. Every day when I was in that weight loss journey, I was like, I have to sweat today. What am I going to do? 10:30 at night, traveling for work, landed into my hotel room. I know it's 10:30. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to walk for an hour. I don't give a shit. I'm going to accomplish this because I said I would. There's something powerful in this space that when you declare it and dive into it, it's transformative. Go make the declaration. I'm cheering for you.